Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to C.A.R. Entertainment. I'm your host Dylan Hamilton, and today we're going to be talking about barriers to trade in businesses in our revision videos for A22 business studies. So barriers to trade, pretty self-explanatory. It's whenever you try and move into new markets, or you try and move into basically any form of trading society, or any form of just trading. What are the barriers to actually do that? So we'll go in and talk about them. The first one is different forms of tariffs. So this is probably going to be a big video in terms of Brexit, because we're going to get a lot of these applied onto us from the UK. Like tariffs, we know there's definitely going to be tariffs applied to the UK, and therefore this will be a barrier for us trading with the EU. So tariffs are a form of tax that is applied to imported goods, but not your actual home-produced goods. So goods that are coming in from imports, so imported goods, are more expensive than home-produced goods, and therefore consumers are more likely to buy home-produced items, which is actually quite good capitalism and corporatism, to be fair. Then you have, so that the tariffs, what they do is they raise the price of imports, they reduce the demand for imports, they encourage demand for home-produced substitutes, and they raise the revenue for the government. You then have quotas, which is a legal limit that can be placed in the amount of product that can be imported, and this can create shortages, and this causes prices to rise, otherwise known as inflation. So yeah, they raise the price of imports because of the legal limit. You're only allowed to import so much of it. It reduces the volume of input and encourages the demand for domestically made substitutes. So you have the exchange control, the administrative restriction, and licenses. So exchange control is the amount of foreign currency that is available to domestic firms and the citizens is controlled. So what it does is that it restricts investment by residents overseas, FDI, and non-residents investment and participation in the local market. Administration restriction is bureaucratic rules that are designed to make it more difficult for imports to enter a country, and this is basically just a lot of paperwork. So whenever imports are coming from the EU into the ports in the UK, there's got a massive administrative burden on that there, and that's what that is. Licenses are different controls on exports, such as military or paramilitary goods, technology, artworks, plants, animals, machines, and chemicals. You then have VER, which is the voluntary export restraint, and embargoes. So VER is a quota that is imposed by an exporting country at the request of the importing country's government. So basically, Germany have a put of CARs, and Germany would put this quota on the UK, but it's at the UK's request. The UK come to Germany. Germany, you know what? Too many of your cars are coming in the other country. Can you put a quota on it? Thank you very much. They've done that. But this means there's an agreed fear for greater and more damaging punitive tariffs or import quotas that may fall if they do not. So they might not actually put this tariff up. They might not like that, and therefore the tariffs are going to be very damaging. It benefits the domestic producer as it limits import competition, but is unlikely to actually benefit the consumer as it raises the price of the imported product. Embargoes are just things that prohibit trade with other nations. So trade restriction will limit world trade by diminishing the economic efficiency, reducing the total production and employment, raising prices, and encouraging retaliation. The advantages of these trade barriers is that they protect newly emerging industries, and they protect strategic and declining industries which governments feel are important to the future of the country. Then you have anti-dumping. So this is whenever dumping occurs when goods are sold in foreign markets and prices are below their cost of production, and this only really occurs because of excess capacity. Disadvantages is that there's usually retaliation by exporting countries, which leads to the inflation in the country imposing the tariff, and international agreements prevent the use of tariffs by those countries that sign the agreement, such as the European Union. So free trade and government intervention then. Well, free trade is trade without restrictions, and there's no barriers imposed on trade, which the European Union has. The government intervention then, so things like job protection, where they will safeguard jobs and industries within the nation. They can safeguard industries in the national interest, and consumer protection, which involves protecting those from unsafe products by limiting or banning the importation of such products. Thanks for watching the video. I've been Dylan Hamilton from C.A.R. Entertainment, and I will see you next time.